And good afternoon, Minister. And look, I welcome the opportunity to contribute to the discussion on the nitrates derogation. I suppose first and foremost, I think it's important to acknowledge and welcome the granting of the derogation. Like for farmers who are operating within it, the decision provides a degree of certainty at a time when there is already enormous pressure on family farms and farm families. That certainly matters. It allows farmers time to plan, to invest and to make decisions with some confidence about the future of their farms and their livelihoods. However, while the derogation has been granted for a 3-year period, the reality is that the clock is already ticking and those 3 years will pass quickly. And it is absolutely vital that government action, or indeed inaction, does not become a stumbling block for farmers who are trying to comply with the new and more stringent conditions that come with this derogation. So if we are serious about supporting farmers to meet these requirements, then the necessary supports must be put in place immediately. A key example of this is investment in infrastructure. There needs to be increased and targeted funding under TAMs for slurry storage and soiled water storage. Farmers cannot be expected to comply with higher standards without the practical and financial supports to do so. And so delays in approvals, insufficient grant aid or caps that do not reflect real construction costs will undermine the very objectives we are trying to achieve. Another issue that is causing significant concern on the ground is the lack of clarity around how the Habitats Directive will interact with the nitrates derogation. This uncertainty is deeply unsettling for farmers. We have seen commentary, including from ICOS, expressing serious concern about whether compliance with the Habitats Directive could prevent some farmers from assessing the derogation altogether. And this is not a minor issue. Farmers need clear answers. They need to know whether land designated under the Habitats Directive will affect eligibility for the derogation, and if so, how. At present, we simply do not know if every farmer who was in derogation last year will be able to avail of it again this year. This uncertainty is unfair and it is unacceptable. So clarity must be provided urgently. Farmers should not be left in limbo, trying to make long-term decisions without knowing whether the rules are going to shift beneath their feet. The Department must engage clearly, transparently and directly with farmers and farm organisations on this issue. We also need to be honest about what the next 3 years represent, and this period is critical. If we want to retain a nitrates derogation beyond 2028, then now is the time, with strong government support, for farmers to put in the work required to ensure that water quality improves. Farmers are willing to play their part, but they cannot do it alone. So this means real partnership. It means practical measures that work on the ground, not just additional red tape. It means recognising the diversity of farming systems across the country and avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach. At the same time, the government must be upfront about the future. If it becomes clear that a derogation post-2028 is not achievable, then work on an alternative plan must begin well in advance. Farmers deserve honesty and foresight, not last-minute crises. And in conclusion, I welcome the derogation and the certainty it brings in the short term. But certainty alone is not enough. We need adequate funding, clear guidance, particularly around the Habitats Directive, and a genuine commitment from government to support farmers over the next 3 years. If we get this right, we can protect water quality while also protecting family farms. But if we get it wrong, we risk losing both. Thank you.